lowrider maintenance day. This poor thing has been neglected and it needs some repairs. And the sun's shining on a Sunday. I'd like to be able to cruise this thing a little bit without it feeling like it's just gonna break down on me. So, time to fix her up. First on the repair list is, I think my solenoids are bad for the rear. Hit the switch, it just clicks. It's got power going to it, but no power is getting through this. That was the ticket. All right. So, one problem down. On to the next. The next problem I'm gonna tackle is gonna be a little bit bigger issue than some solenoids. Give you an idea what I'm talking about. See that giant piece of C channel there. Yep, redoing the bridge. The bridge that I made last year, it's not cutting it. I should have just went with C channel, but I was too lazy to get what I actually needed, so I just made something work out of some plate and some angle iron. It's just not working. It's just not. The plate's too narrow. The pockets I made for the springs are too small. I used angle iron on top of the pockets to hold the spring in. Well, they're actually lifting up, so the spring gets caught up in there. So I'm gonna cut all that out, hopefully, if it all goes well. And then I'm going to put in a C channel and just cut holes for the cylinders, and hopefully that'll work. Let's go back to the problem area. So as you can see, the spring pocket is just, I mean, it's literally blown out. It's just not holding anything, which, poor design on my part. The center held together like a freaking tank, but the spring pockets just wasn't enough. What are you gonna do? Live and learn, I guess. So, I need to fix that. The biggest challenge is going to be cutting that out, because I welded that thing solid. I had no intentions of that ever coming out. So let's do that. Done. Okay, this sucker sits up really high. I mean, it won't lay down at all. Woo! Find your home. Find your home. Yep. Gonna need to do a little adjusting on the springs. Holy cow. The front's locked up, the back's laid all the way down. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Okay. Now I did put the bridge in a different spot, lower. So it is a lot lower. And I'm leaking something. It is a lot lower. So I'm guessing that's why it's sitting up so high. Need to adjust the springs. Yeah, maybe I'm not leaking. You just hold fluid from bouncing around. Back end sits up a little too high when it's laid down, but other than that, it's pretty good. So I'm gonna try to drive this thing home on the highway. It's a little sketchy on the highway, but we'll see if we can make it.
From the Huda on a shootout, back to the crib, now we about to eat a soup now. With a fun, tell them what a fun. Lil' sucks better back around in a trap, kidnap for the ransom.
Did all that work today to go on a cruise. Finally going, but it's like 8 o'clock. So here's my problem now. That's laid out. Yeah, it's basically, it sits up higher than stock, but you can see how angled my cylinders are because of the extended upper trailing arms. So, because it actually rolls the rear end back when it's laid down, so it's making the cylinder sit at an angle. So that mixed with the tall springs in the back is causing that. But I got some new power balls. I need to get some small C channel so I can weld that to the rear end, and then I'm going to go ahead and rotate the mount, the power ball mount, further forward on the axle so that way the cylinders can sit more straight up. But no big deal. I'll just do that next time I got some free time to work on my own car. Until then, I'll just park at the shows with the back end locked up. Can't even tell. Had somebody ask on my Facebook how CHAINBRIDGE works, or how to install it. Like I said, sorry I didn't film a whole lot of it because I had people show up at the shop. It's kind of hard to film when there's other people in the shop. But it's really simple. If you've never had a CHAINBRIDGE in your car before, I'll explain it how it worked on my Lincoln. I'm sure it'll apply to other cars, but if you've never had one in there before, when you get up underneath your car and you look, there's spring pockets where your springs or your cylinders are sitting right now. All you do is you cut all that out, so you got a nice open area. You cut all your spring pockets off of your frame. You get a piece of C channel. I believe the C channel I used was about the inside opening was about 7 inches. From edge to edge on the outside was about 8 inches. So get a thick piece of C channel like that. About 4 foot would work. A few inches over 4 foot. And then you cut out all your spring perches and you just run that across there and weld up on both frame rails. So run the C channel from frame rail to frame rail, weld it up nice and solid. Cut out your holes for your cylinders before you set it up there. Measure that out, cut out your holes, weld in your chain mounts. On mine, I just welded them closer to the center because I like my chains to sit like this. It helps with 3-wheeling to have them sitting like this. Some guys have them angled out like this, but for me it didn't work. And then some people have them straight up and down. My setup works best with the chains angled like that, so that's what I did. So yeah, it's pretty simple to install a CHAINBRIDGE, especially if you've had one in there before. This thing will still 3-wheel. Feels like it wants to. Oh my god. I feel like I'm all the way up. Put her down. Feeling a little ridiculous. wheels. Got a little aggressive there. Got a little aggressive. Yeah, the 3-wheel gets a little out of hand with no chains. On this thing. I think the rear end kicks over to one side pretty good. Because with the chains on and that 3-wheel, I could pretty much keep driving straight. But like that, it felt like the rear end was really dog tracking. So I think it probably even 3-wheels a little higher without the chain, which is kind of weird, but maybe just because I had enough weight to kind of throw it over by making a turn. But yeah, it felt pretty good. I mean, the height felt pretty good. The actual act of 3-wheeling didn't feel like the car liked it too much. That's a 5.0 up here. I'm gonna go ahead and get behind them. You never want to take the opportunity to get in front of a cop, you know. But thank you to everyone who's been sticking around with me, especially all the lowrider fans that haven't really been getting a whole lot of lowrider content on the channel. I appreciate everyone sticking around, and all the new subscribers that like the shop stuff. Thank you. There's going to be definitely more shop stuff, and I hope I can work in some lowrider stuff. Life's just crazy right now. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of free time. Who does, really? I mean, especially when you got kids, it's kind of hard to have free time. But like, kids and the whole shop